Crunch time, where Coach and I like to go back and forth picking 10 games through the football slate. We're going to do 5 games from college, 5 games from the NFL. It's panic mode time. Coach, are you ready?
Iceman, yeah, buddy. Ready to do this. One of my favorite things to do every week. Let's fire it up, my friend.
All right, we are going to start Friday night Big 12 action. Number 20, Arizona, traveling to number 14, Kansas State. Now, Arizona's coming in trying to get that signature win. Kansas State just came off a really, really tough game on the road at Tulane. Kansas State is a 7.5-point favorite at home. This one is going to be close. You know what? I'm going to take the old Wildcats for the upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Kansas State is the clear favorite here, in my opinion. So I don't know how much of an upset it would be. Are you talking Arizona Wildcats?
I
Is that
am.
what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm here with Kansas State, man, all the way. I think that they're just a superior football team, and the Big 12, even though it has absorbed some of the old Pac-12 teams, it's a better conference than what Arizona's used to playing in.
Number 4, Alabama, the Crimson Tide travel into Camp Randall, which is going to be ready to jump around to face the old Wisconsin Badgers. Now, this is not your daddy's Wisconsin Badgers, but still, Camp Randall is a really tough place to play. Jalen Milroe and the boys looked a little shaky against South Florida at home. Alabama is a 16-point favorite on the road. That feels like a big spread for a place that is really tough to play. I like Alabama to win, but I like Wisconsin to keep it close.
I think that Wisconsin and Camp Randall is only a tough place to play in theory. Alabama's a very, very good football team. I've been impressed with how they've looked this season, and I will take the Tide.
Number 16, LSU. Brian Kelly taking his hand and fist stomping to South Carolina, Columbia. This is where College Game Day is going to be at. The Gamecocks 2-0 now have looked pretty impressive in their last game against Kentucky. They struggled against ODU. LSU did not look good in their first game. They struggled again against Nichols in their second game, and I feel like this is not a playoff team. I like the Gamecocks to upset the Tigers right here.
Yeah, it may not be Cocktober quite yet, but I'm with you, Iceman. I really like the Gamecocks here. I think that LSU's coming in a shell of their former selves, if you will, like some other teams we'll talk about later, but give me the Gamecocks all the way.
And we got some old Pac-12 rivalries. The Oregon Ducks traveling to Oregon State to take on those Tyler Budges and those Beavers. Now, this is a game I feel like is ripe for an upset because Oregon hasn't looked all that impressive in their first couple of games. Oregon State, still a Pac-12 team, really wants to prove themselves against their in-state rival. Really, this is their only game that matters. Oregon is a 16-point favorite traveling on the road. I don't know, man. I feel like there's going to be an upset. Give me the Beavs.
These are the type of games you could say, throw the records out. How good or bad the teams are don't matter. It's going to be a tight game. All those cliche things. Oregon hasn't looked that great so far this year. That's exactly what they want you to think. Granted, the Beavs, I don't even know who their quarterback is, but it's certainly an upgrade over last year based off what we've seen out of DJU so far this year. But that being said, even though it is in Corvallis, right? That's where Oregon State is. Still, give me the Ducks.
And last, the Apple Cup. Washington State traveling to Washington to take on the Huskies. The Huskies are 4.5-point favorites at home. Neither one of these teams is really on the national radar, and that is for good reason. A rivalry game is, as you said, you always throw the records out the window. But you know what? I feel like Washington is going to take this one because they're at home. It's a rivalry game. So give me the Huskies.
Yeah, I feel like Washington has some similarities to Michigan, right? Both lost their head coach. Both sort of have been, those rosters have been decimated there in rebuild mode, if you will, although I'm sure Michigan fans may disagree. This will be a good game, though, highly contested. Did not know Steve Belichick was the defensive coordinator of the Washington Huskies. That's interesting. I'm going to take the Huskies, man, at home.
Switching to the NFL, the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson, with all of his problems, traveled to Jacksonville to take on the Jags and their quarterback problem. The Jags are 3-point favorites at home, and I feel like both of these teams really need a win, but I feel like the Browns are reeling because they have a quarterback who is just completely lost. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a little bit better, so give me the Jags at home.
Cleveland's a mess right now, which is so on brand for Cleveland, unfortunately. I'm with you, Iceman. I'll take Jacksonville.
Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucs, the 4-touchdown Baker Mayfield, travel to MCDC and Detroit to face the Lions. The Lions are 7-point favorites at home. They really had a gutsy win in their first week. The Bucs looked really good. I feel like we don't know enough about the Bucs, but I think we do know that the Lions are very, very talented. So you know what? I'm going to take the Lions here to cover.
Two of my favorite characters in National Football League, Baker Mayfield and MCDC and the boys in Detroit. I think that the Bucs will cover the spread and keep it close, but give me the Lions to win.
The Cincinnati Bengals travel to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs are only 5-point favorites on the road, despite the fact that the Bengals look completely awful in their loss to the Patriots at home. There's something brewing in Cincinnati that I just don't like. I feel like Joe Burrow is not right. Jamar Chase seems like he doesn't want to be there. Patrick Mahomes and the boys are always ready, so give me the Chiefs to win pretty handily.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola's cousin apparently is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, I hear, but they're pretty darn good. The Bengals are reeling a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on in Cincinnati. Give me the Chiefs all the way.
The Chicago Bears traveling to Houston to face the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud. The Texans are 6-point favorites at home. Now, obviously, Caleb Williams looked not that great in their first game, but he did get the win. C.J. Stroud looked really, really good against the Colts. This is one of those games where I feel like Caleb Williams is going to look a little bit better. I think the Bears' defense is going to be okay, but I think the Texans are just a little bit more talented, especially at home. But you know what? I think the Bears are going to keep it close, so give me the Texans to win a tight one.
The Bears have a high-powered defense. It's capable of putting up a lot of points. We'll see if they're able to do that this week in Houston. This is Caleb Williams' first true road game in the NFL. Houston doesn't have a reputation for being an overly difficult place to play, but that being said, it's still a tough situation to put a rookie in. The Texans are the better team, top to bottom, with the better roster. I will take Houston.
And last, the Battle of the Bird Teams on Monday night. Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Philadelphia and that ridiculous fan base of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites at home. Kirk Cousins did not look right, and I think no matter what, even if Michael Penix has to play in this game, they're not going to have enough firepower. I feel like the Eagles are going to come in here. They're going to have a game plan. The fans are going to be with them. So give me the Eagles to win by more than 6.5.
Yeah, this the Michael Vick Bowl, we'll call this one, right, with the Falcons and the Eagles. The Eagles still, I'm not sold on them yet. And the last 2 years ago when we said that, they went on to the Super Bowl, I believe.
That's right.
I'm just not quite sold. I still think there's some internal things that will rear their ugly head at some point in time, and I feel like they are primed for a letdown game here in week 2 already. I'm going to take the Falcons at the upset.
All right, those are our 10 picks. Let us know who you like in the comments. Definitely follow us, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you on down the road.